You remember that last time our heroes found themselves in a leaky lifeboat dodging a runaway ocean liner. One time they forgot to duck, and the sharp bow of the steamship struck their tiny craft right in the middle. When it passed, there was nothing left of the lifeboat but splinters. Fortunately, Bullwinkle had been able to grab onto part of the ship's anchor, and our heroes dangled far above the waves as the liner plowed on. Meanwhile, in their cabin, Boris and Natasha were very despondent.
Boris, how could you let them sail away with the mooseberry bush?
Bush was disguised as old men. Did I know they'd help old men into lifeboat? I wouldn't. Help! It seems to me I still hear that idiotic voice calling, "Moose overboard!"
Look, outside porthole.
His ghost.
No, it's Bullwinkle.
Who is it, Bullwinkle?
It's that there nice English type fella, Sir Thomas Lippen, Boris.
Well, tell him we got his Uncle Chumley here.
Uncle Chumley. Quick, Natasha, get help.
And a few moments later, our friends were hauled on board.
Uncle Chumley. This is a bit of all right, what?
Let us take you to cabin, darling.
He's sure a brave old fella. Didn't hear a peep out of him the whole time.
Hey, what's happening?
Abandoned ship! Captain Peachfuzz is at the wheel!
Sure enough, Captain Peter Wrongway Peachfuzz, the world's worst sailor, gained entrance to the real control room and was now in full command.
Full speed astern ahead. Port your helm. Knit 1, furl 2.
Hang on, Bullwinkle. Looks like a rough trip.
Yeah, and I wonder where to.
Bullwinkle wasn't the only one concerned about that, for the Andalusia was long overdue at her destination. Nobody knew exactly where she was.
Guam calling. Andalusia just passed here headed south. I mean north. Oh, never mind.
Commander, I think I've got a ship on the radar.
Nonsense. Nobody would steer a ship like that. The radar's out of order.
But the commander had reckoned without Captain Peachfuzz, who could and did steer a ship exactly like that.
Gee, Bullwinkle, we should be getting near Pottsylvania by now.
Land ho!
Oh, boy, we're Pottsylvania at last.
Yeah, I could tell because of the windmills and all them tulips.
Windmills, tulips, that's Holland.
But at that moment, Captain Peachfuzz was picking a new course.
Aha! Come right 200 degrees centigrade. Reef the forecastle. Play ball.
And the steamer headed out to sea again at full speed. Radio messages crackled round the world.
Hello, Andalusia. This is the Coast Guard calling. Come in.
But unfortunately, Captain Peachfuzz kept his radio tuned to another station entirely.
And in the National League, it's Dodgers 3, Cards 2.
And in their cabin, our heroes waited for the boat to dock anywhere.
Hey, Rock, I think we're there.
What do you see?
Oh, there's a whole lot of people waiting on the shore. Looks like a formal reception.
Formal?
Yup, everybody's wearing tuxedos.
Oh, Bullwinkle, those are penguins. We must be near the South Pole.
Whoa, we better ask for another blanket.
But keeping from freezing wasn't the only problem facing our heroes, for as they sat down to dinner that evening, they found with a shock that their food had run out.
Bullwinkle, if we don't make port soon, we'll die of malnutrition.
I'd rather starve first.
Will our heroes end up wasting away to ocean-going shadows? Don't miss our next episode, The Slippery Helm or Captain's Outrageous.
There was once an old fisherman who, in over 40 years of fishing, never caught a fish. Because of this, he was forced to live, with his wife, in a miserable little hovel close by the sea. But though they were very, very poor, he was very, very happy. But being so very, very poor made his wife very, very unhappy.
No money, no food, no nothing. Just a kooky husband.
Then, one day, as the fisherman sat mending his nets...
Oh, alas, poor husband, you must surely be addle-headed.
Why do you say that?
Why else would you be so happy when we're so poor?
Yeah, it does seem kind of silly, doesn't it? But you just wait. Someday I'm going to catch a fish, and then things will be different.
The old fisherman didn't know it then, but things were to be very different very soon. For the next day, when he hauled in his his net.
Wow, I finally did it. I caught a fish. I caught a fish.
Yes, it was a fine big fish, and a most unusual fish to say the least, for it spoke to him.
How do you do?
Oh, hello there. You know, you're the very first fish I ever... What'd you say?
I said, how do you do?
Oh, come on. You can't say that.
Why not?
Well, because fish can't talk. That's why.
But I can, and I'm asking you, please, let me go.
The fish pleaded so hard, and the fisherman was so shocked at hearing the fish talk that he did let him go. Then that evening, when he returned to his hovel...
Catch any fish?
Yeah? Nice big fat one. But I let him go.
Let him go? Why?
He asked me to.
Oh, well, as long as he... What? The fish asked you to let him go?
Yeah.
Certain now that her poor husband was more addle-headed than ever, the wife wrapped hot towels around the fisherman's head and gave him a bitter medicine that was guaranteed to clear even the most clouded mind.
Oh, a talking fish indeed.
Look, he did talk to me, and I can prove it.
Early the next morning, the fisherman returned to the spot where he had caught the fish and called out loudly,
Talking fishy in the sea. Please come up and talk to me.
With that, the big fish returned to the surface and said,
You called?
Yeah, my wife thinks I'm addle-headed because I heard you talk. Please come home with me so I can prove you do.
Very well. You did me a favor, so I shall return it. Let's go.
The fisherman quickly took the fish back to his hovel, but his wife was nowhere to be seen. So he put the fish into their bed to keep him warm and set off in search of her. A short time later, the wife, who had been out collecting seashells by the seashore, returned, and seeing what she thought to be her husband in the bed...
Lazy lout, what are you doing in bed? You should be out fishing.
I beg your pardon, madam, but I am not your husband. I am really...
A talking fish.
That is correct, madam.
Eek!
The poor woman's hair stood on end. Then, 2 hours later, when the fisherman finally coaxed his wife down off of the roof...
Yeah, now you see, dear, the fish did talk.
Okay, but get him out of here.
Ah, but the fish, who, of course, had never been in a soft, warm bed before, liked it so much that he said...
Oh, please don't throw me back into that cold, old ocean. Let me stay.
No, I refuse to have a talking fish in my bed.
Oh, let me stay. I will grant you 3 wishes.
Oh, boy, 3 wishes. Hey, that could make us rich.
The wife was delighted at the prospect of being rich and agreed to let the fish stay. Then they set about the task of making their first wish.
Now, a talking fish is something you don't see every day. So, why don't we wish for a big theater so we can make people pay to hear him?
So be it, number 1.
The wish was granted, and they suddenly found themselves owners of the largest theater in the village.
Now what?
That's easy. Now we've got to wish for lots of tickets to sell.
So be it. Number 2.
The wish was granted, and they now had thousands of tickets. Everyone in the country wanted to hear the talking fish, so in no time at all, every ticket was sold.
Oh, boy, look at the money. Oh, we're rich at last. We still have another wish coming, so let's use it.
For what?
Who cares? Anything.
No, we better save it.
He's right. After all, it is your last wish.
Now, you stay out of this. Let's use it.
Save it.
But I think
Use it.
Save it.
Use it. I wish you'd shut up.
So be it. Number 3.
Oops, I goofed.
The third and last wish was granted, and the fish was never to speak again. Of course, the audience demanded their money back, and the fisherman and his wife were run out of town as frauds. Poor, once again, they returned to their hovel, where several days later, a strange thing happened. For a small cat wearing boots approached them, and,
Howdy!
That cat! It talked!
Right. You see, I'm...
But before the little cat in the boots could continue, the fisherman and his wife tied a gag around his mouth, and he could not say another word. Which is just as well, dear friends, for Puss in Boots is another story.
And now for a word to the not-so-wise, here's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, knowledge seekers. Today's subject is how to train your doggy for fun and profit. To train a doggy, you need 2 things. A trainer, that's me, and a doggy. A small doggy. That's better. The first thing to do is to make friends with the doggy. Take his little paw in yours and shake hands just like he was... Next, the doggy should be trained to come when you call. Come here, boy. Come on. Heather boy, come here. Come here. Here, maybe? Here? All right, you doggone dog, stay there. See, it just takes a firm hand and a... where'd it... Oop! But the most important thing is to let the doggy know just who is the master. Look into his eyes and say, you will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg. You will sit up and beg.
Gee, are you all right, Bullwinkle?
Sure, Rocky.
Okay, then. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're certainly welcome.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But...
See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
And now it's time to meet Mr. Peabody.
Hello again, Peabody here. Today's adventure into the past concerns itself with a notorious bandit.
I'll bet it's Tommy Riley.
Who is Tommy Riley, Sherman?
He's the kid that lives next door.
And he's a bandit?
Well, he cheats at marbles.
The bandit we're going to visit cheated at everything. We're off to Missouri, my boy, in the year 1872, and the subject of our trip, Jesse James. Transportation, courtesy of the Wayback Machine, was breathtaking. However, we were a trifle surprised to discover the Wayback deposited us aboard a train.
Something must be wrong with the Wayback, Mr. Peabody. I don't see Jesse James.
We didn't see anyone, for that matter. The car was empty, or was, until the conductor entered.
Mr. Conductor, could you tell us, please, sir, if...
Down, Sherman. Down, boy.
What is it, Mr. Peabody?
The train is being attacked. A strategically placed boulder caused the train to grind to a halt.
All right, you varmints. Disembark that there train.
Well, the only varmints on the train were Sherman, yours truly, the engineer, and the aforementioned conductor. And the conductor had a gun.
Oh, boy, I'll bet he'll surprise somebody.
He did. Us.
Is that all the passengers, Jesse?
That's all, Frank. This is going to be one of our poorest robberies yet.
Oh, my gosh, the conductor's Jesse James.
And the other is his brother, Frank. We were ordered to surrender all our valuables.
One oil can, a package of bubble gum, and a copy of the journal.
Of course, the journal was mine.
This is what I call a pretty poor haul.
Listen, Jesse, why don't we shoot these here critters and steal the train?
Now, what would we do with the train?
Put it under the tree next Christmas?
Frank. You may be my brother, but you're pretty dumb. You know we ain't got no tree. Now, let's get going. We sure was lucky, mister. We lost an oil can, some bubble gum, and a newspaper. We could have lost our lives. Well, I'll get old Bessie fired up and we'll get out of here.
The engineer miscalculated our total loss. It seemed we were also minus one little boy, Sherman. Sherman!
If you're looking for the little feller, he rode that away.
With Jesse James?
Right. One of them outlaws tossed our valuables into a sack, and the little boy, he crawled inside to get his gum back. You coming, mister? I got a schedule to keep.
No, you go ahead. I have some retrieving to do. Being an ace tracker, and an ace everything as far as that's concerned, I was able to reach the James cabin by nightfall.
Then it's all settled. We'll stick up the Denver bank at 9 tomorrow.
But Denver's in Colorado, Jesse.
See, that's right. Well, we'll make a St. Louis then. All right, hit the hay, boys. We got some hard riding ahead of us.
No sooner were the desperados asleep than I entered their hideout and cautiously approached the sack lying in the corner. Sherman?
That's you, Mr. Peabody?
Be very quiet. I threw the sack over my shoulder and tried to sneak back out of the cabin. Unfortunately...
Hey, what's going on here?
Shh, 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 shh. Go back to sleep. And a Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, thank you, Sandy.
Once outside the shack, I emptied the contents of the sack.
Hi, Mr. Peabody.
We must warn the bank, my boy, that Jesse James intends to rob it.
Won't Jesse get to St. Louis before we do?
I doubt it. You see, I took the oil can and liberally greased the corral. Even at that moment, Jesse and his boys were going in every direction but St. Louis.
Are you sure the James gang is coming?
Positive, sir. We delayed them for an hour or so, but they'll be here. By the way, where are the gold sacks?
On the floor there. But look, Mr. Peabody, if your plan don't work...
My plans always work. Sherman and I transported the heavy sacks to a balcony just over the front entrance. We didn't have long to wait before...
It's Jesse James. He's riding into town on some slippery horses.
Now remember, Sherman, aerial bombardment is quite simple if you keep your eye on the target and allow for the wind. You can imagine what a shock it was to the first outlaw who entered the bank.
Hands up, everybody. This here's...
14 men demanded gold and got it. However, Jesse and Frank James weren't among them. In fact, as we glanced out a window, they and a bearded man blowing a bugle went riding out of town.
Well, we saved the bank, Mr. Peabody, but the James brothers got away.
Yes, that fellow blew his bugle and alarmed Jesse and Frank.
Wonder who he was.
That's their younger brother, undoubtedly the most talented bearded bugler of all time.
Really? I don't think I've ever heard of him.
You never heard of Harry James?
Well, the ocean liner bearing our heroes is still sort of lost at sea, with Captain Wrong-Way Peach Fuzz at the helm. They have gone more miles and got less places than any ship in the world.
X3 Andalusia approaches Point Boy.
Wuxtree, Andalusia hits Point Boy. Damage great.
And to make things even worse, the ship has now run out of food.
Boy, am I ever hungry.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
looking at pictures of food makes my mouth water.
Mm.
Bullwinkle, what are you eating?
I just couldn't resist the picture, Rocky, so I ate it.
Okay, give me a page.
Here's a fruit salad with cottage cheese.
Delicious. Here, have a picture of standing rib roast in full color.
Mmm.
How is it?
Well, I really like it a little more well done.
Meanwhile, in the cabin just next door...
Boris, Mooseberry Bush has lost the will to live. What are we going to do?
Get me central control. Hello, fearless leader? This is Boris Bedenoff, your friendly neighborhood spy speaking.
Come in, friendly.
Bush is in bad shape. What do we do?
Who needs Bush, you idiot? All we need are mooseberries.
Natasha, quick, pick berries.
Shall I keep this one, Boris?
No, it's too little. Throw it away.
Boris, what happened?
Remember, picked mooseberries are very explosive. Do not shake, rattle, or roll.
Now you tell us.
Boris, how we're going to keep Mooseberry safe?
Easy. You sit here, I sit here, Mooseberry sit there.
But Boris had reckoned without Captain Peach Fuzz, who at that moment decided to change course.
Hard up port! Course 5440, or fight!
Boris, look!
As the boat heeled over, the closely guarded mooseberries skidded toward the porthole and out.
Hmm? Oh, boy. Must be snack time.
You!
Howdy, Sir Thomas. Have a yummy?
Those berries, they're...
Oh, yeah, they're delicious. Want to see me throw one up and catch it in my mouth?
No!
Oh, it's easy. Gee, these got kind of a kick to him.
Boris, he's fainted.
Anything wrong, Lady Alice?
Oh, no, it's just the heat.
The heat? I ain't been this cold since I left Frostbite Falls. Brrr.
Don't shiver, don't shiver. If Moose jiggles those berries, we all go boom. Come in, old pipsqueak. Have a warm in our cabin.
Well, I don't mind if I... Oops! Must have tripped on the rug.
We don't got a rug.
Oh, nice place you got here. It's kind of...
What is it?
I guess I got the hiccups.
Water, quick. Best cure for hiccups, old chappie.
So Boris and Natasha tried every known hiccup remedy and cure available. Ice water, hot water, more ice water, head in the bag, holding the breath.
How about standing on my head?
No!
What do we do?
What else? We scare him. Oh, that poor little fellow.
What's that?
Your little friend Rocky just fell overboard.
Rocky!
And Bullwinkle went flying out of the cabin, tripped on the door sill, catapulted over the rail, and still stuffed with explosive, plummeted toward the deck 30 feet below. Don't fail to see our next episode, Bullwinkle Makes a Hit, or I Get a Bang Out of You.